So what I'll do now, before I do the carpal tunnel, which will revise a lot of the wrist stuff and the sciatica, I'll just go to the descriptions of the parallel and sequential, so that's modes of application on page 65. So traditionally, stemming from chiropractic framework, one approach to treating affected region of anatomy would be to do one technique at a time, fully completing each technique. So do correction for each technique. Further to this chiropractor, the chiropractor would choose which one they would do first from their own reasoning without the use of priority mode. With the advent of pause lock, we can activate the issue, add goals, and then provide a range of setup items into the circuit. Here, the individual structural techniques can be added in without the correction. The technique becomes setup items instead of correction. When the setup is complete, then we can add it into circuit and do a single balance to correct the activated stress. The goal and the setup item. So you've got activate region of the body, establish goal, do all the different major corrections, look for a balance. So cranial is a favorite. So we've got cranial balancing there. So when we do cranial kinesiology, you'll be able to revise that balance. I'd keep it, and that way you can do it you can fill both in. And then you can do a structural balance, put all the bits in, and do a cranial correction at the end. For the people who've done NPA, I'll be getting you to also do like a hypothalamic pituitary axis balance. Because remember how the hypothalamus and pituitary, the health of pituitary gland is regulated through the respiratory mechanism of the skull? Do you remember doing that in NPA? We talked about that. And so what we'll do is we could pick, say, the adrenals, look at cortisol, follow it up into the anterior pituitary and the hypothalamus, follow all the hormones up, then activate the respiratory mechanism in the skull, put that in circuit, and then do a cranial balance. And then that can make huge differences in how people's endocrine system functions. Yeah. So, and then sometimes you'll do that, and then you'll do something else on the side, or like that's another setup item. So sometimes you might do a parallel balance, but then it might want reactive muscles. So you can't really do reactive muscles inside one of those comprehensive balance processes. So you could either do it before or after. You could set up all the joints and structure and ligaments and everything, put them all in circuit, and then do a correction, but you can't really do reactive muscles. And so you might do them before or after. So what I might do is I might demonstrate doing that on Maddie's shoulder, and then we'll go back and we'll do the sciatica and the carpal tunnel, because Maddie's got with heart, like I've wanted to balance his shoulder properly for a long time, and he never comes. And sexy. Is he hot? Stage right, yeah. He's great behind a camera. Can't see me, I can see you. Yeah, and he's had, yeah, ready? Yeah. Which one?
She's off?
Yeah, she's off. So he's had 2 surgeries on, is it your right shoulder?
Left shoulder.
Left shoulder. Are you left-handed or right-handed?
Right-handed.
Yeah.
But I slept upright for about 9 months, so all my scalenes and my neck and are all just havoc. So,
all right.
Yeah.
So is this going to be a parallel balance?
This will be a parallel balance. So I'll get you live face up. So I've got his right arm on this side, which is good because I don't want to muscle test him on that side, or as little as possible. Hold. Hold. So we've got a male client finally on the table, which is good. Dragged him off the street. He was in a homeless shelter, and we brought him in to. So for some reason that's locking up again. Are you relaxing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So central meridians. So what I'm doing now is whenever the central governing show, I get the axial vowels, which you're going to get in the bioharmonics, each given part. That'd be awesome. You know when I'm pause locking. It's an auditory cue.
And glasses off.
I like it when she's bossy. The MPA one?
Yeah.
Might be good to get the other ones as well. Right there. And could you make another one? Just broke. So then I get the axial vowels. So that's axial 3. That's showing. And he locks up. Pretty,
Yeah, right.
the right. Well, that's good as balanced. So I think it's more neurological. Are you in pain when I'm testing you?
Not now, no.
So because he's just gumming up a little bit, I'm just going to put, see what helps him come out of second stage. So that was the amygdala. These worked to treat at the last road test. We've just got the brain vials when people couldn't get their muscles to work. And we're just giving them out to people, and they were like wearing them, and then they'd just start working. So we didn't have to they weren't getting really worked up and stressed, because as soon as it wasn't working, we just find out which part of their brain wasn't working, give them the vial, and then the muscle testing will start working. So for you, that's your hypothalamus. So now put that vial on. See how it's working nicely now?
Mm.
It's not gummed up. So that's the part of the brain that's congested.
Yeah.
That's the doorway between the endocrine system and the nervous system. So that's the interface. So I just checked the axial vowels. So it's just making sure that their central and governing is nice and robust before. I'm going to put them on so I can read. So that the axial 1, that's the microcosmic orbit. So that's how the Mantek Chia popularized that one, but it's got the chi circulating around up the governing, down the central. So I'm going to check. So it's Shen. So then I do meridian chakra release on the central Shen, which is about feeling connected or being connected with spirit, or all the parts of you connecting, like your shoulders. And then I'll just get open your eyes for a sec, and I'll just test your relation of 5G. So that's indicating. So that means the electrostimulation from 5G is impacting on that central and governing. Do you have one of those things on you today?
It's on the just near your little chime.
So we'll just see if that helps and then hold. But that's not helping as such. So that's not helping the central government from a kinesiology perspective. But what I'll do is I'll get you to just open your eyes, look up to the right, look up to the left, more up. That's it. Touch and decoding up to the left. Keep looking up to the left. Breathing in, breathing out. And up to the right. Breathing in, breathing out. So that just moves that awareness of that microcosmic orbit in relation to 5G stress. So when it's under 5G stress, his body's going to be actively boosting his microcosmic orbit innately without needing paraphernalia like Tesla plates.
Guy, why did you test the 5G in particular?
I've just been experimenting with it, and I just noticed that people are getting blown out by it.
I sit in front of the computer all day as well.
Okay. So testing in relation to sitting in front of a computer, test in relation to 5G, so it's cleared all that up as well. So maybe the 5G is the worst of it, and then it clears everything else less worse than it up. Alrighty, and then we'll just keep the hypothalamus on, and we get a nice muscle test. So always remember to, because he hasn't received much kinesiology before, so it's always good to remember, to fast track the process, try using the brain vials just to crank them up a bit. And they seem to get better while they're on there. So during the last RTK, after a while, they didn't need the vial anymore. So it obviously helped them process the whatever it was by just having it in their field. All right, and then the hydration. Excellent. And then I'm just going to do alternate nostril breathing. I'll get you to breathe in. And then breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Excellent. And then I'll just get you to say, I'm willing to receive muscle monitoring. I'm willing to receive kinesiology. Excellent. I'm willing to work with Guy. Excellent. I'm willing to receive change in alignment with my highest potential. Excellent. Awesome. So now we'll start working with his shoulder. So we could do a generic goal. So are both shoulders not so good now?
Yeah.
But we'll just work with one at a time.
Cool.
And then we can try the hologram to move it across to the other one. Hold. I'll just so as soon as I touch it, his muscles jamming up again. And chi harmonics isn't showing. And I'll just try the amygdala. No. Thalamus. Yeah. Thalamus on there as well. But obviously, that focus on that injured shoulder, took him to another level of neurological stress. So I'll just try touching the shoulder again. So I'll just get to say my left shoulder heals and regenerates.
Heals and regenerates.
And I'll put another affirmation on it. My left shoulder functions optimally. Sometimes I do two rather than stick together these super sentences. So the first one was first stage stress. First stage stress. And the second one was second stage stress. So I'm just releasing the second stage stress. So when you do the student clinic, it'd be good to keep this handy. So because a lot of the people you work on haven't had much experience, and they're going to gum up like Maddie is, which is just normal when they haven't had much experience being clients. And you could just pop those on. And if you get stressed and you think it might be you, because a lot of the time when I do student clinic manager, I find that it's the practitioner's stress that's causing the client's arm to lock up or not lock properly. And so when I get the student files, the client's arm starts working. So just use them as a potential tool to keep everything lubricated, so to speak. Also, like if you don't, like I want to work on your shoulder, I don't want to do deep survival switching. So I'm kind of treating that sort of deep survival switching process as I go by popping different vials on when it gets stuck. And if you haven't, and the ones in Neurophys 1 are the main ones. The files you get in Neurophys 1, they're the main ones that are going to impact on people's survival status. So you don't have to have all the files from the other courses as well. So run that down, run that up.
Did it break things in muscle assist file as well?
Not in the muscle assist, that's just muscle. Yeah. These probably work better than the muscle assist generally because it's usually brain stuff. Can I put your feet together apart? Excellent. And I always say put your feet together apart. I don't say put your legs together and apart because that triggers stuff for some people. So always I go put your feet together apart. So did that work? It wasn't the best pause like I'm saying, but it worked. So now I'll just tap that in because I want him to activate it a little bit. And I want you to sit up. Maybe put your feet over there so Leslie can photograph. And then I'll just get you to show me, the range of the muscle of the arm. Yeah. And then how's that out? If you go
Out.
Take it out.
I think that's 0 external.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so just wings.
Yeah. All right. And where do you feel it when you put it in that position? More in the neck?
Yeah, in the neck.
Okay. So you were saying a lot of your neck muscles are in a bad way?
Yep.
So I might just do some neck tests. So if I get you to do your head forward and then here, that's actually the scalenes, that 15 one. And then the 45 is the sternocleidomastoid. It's a funny kind of, it's kind of like, it's locking, but it's really dodgy sort of muscle test. We'll do this one on the other side, other scalenes, and hold. So just put them in the circle. That's not great either. Then hold. Crown chakra, just to get rid of the second stage stress, have to bring those in. Alrighty. Cool. So there's only very few muscles I could do in his shoulder because of the range. So I'm not going to bother. But I'll get you to lie face up. And then hold. And then I'll just go through a few different muscle tests. So I'll do the anterior head. So let's go here. So I'd like to say the anterior head. So that's showing second stage stress. I'll do the bicerebral tendon. That's showing. I'm going to check clavicle. So the the clavicle on the left is about half a centimeter higher than the clavicle on the right. So it's definitely going to be out. So I'm just going to do bone mode. I'm going to push it up. I've gone to second stage stress. Do bone mode, and I'm going to push it, rebound it because it's also pushing out. Crown chakra. I suppose I should check the, so push that one up. And I'll get you to breathe in. Take correct some inspiration, and then I'll bounce that one out. I'll get you to breathe in. Correct some inspiration as well. So we got that one, and then I might have a look at the Houstonian folds involvement, which is on the other side. So tender in there. I get you to push in there with this hand. And we're talking about, and I'll get you to put your feet together apart. We're talking about how do we do this when I put fascia on. How do you do this when someone's got a frozen shoulder? Because you can't lift their arm up. So we're talking about this morning about at least we can stretch the shoulder girdle. So if time if it gets excruciating, so I'm stretching the shoulder girdle up. So I'm activating the girdle, even though I can't create all the extension through the shoulder joint. I can still lift part of the girdle up, so it's something. And then I can get feet to go apart. And then I can get the immune valve. Put the immune valve on and then hold. So that's working with the tightening of the fascia from inflammation in the body. Alrighty. And then feet together apart. And so that's covered a lot of the sort of the major sort of structural bits for the shoulder, and they're all in the circuit. So we've got like a collage of information. And I'll ask the body, does it want more setup items? So it wants more setup items. So emotion, energy, structure, physiology. So it wants to go into its physiology as a setup item. So physiology. So we'll see if it wants a hologram. So it wants a hologram. So we're going to go and use the iFizz process. So governing, central. So it's all gummed up. Put these on. They're back again. So governing, central, lung, thank you, pericardium, heart, stomach, gallbladder, liver, spleen, kidney. So the kidney is showing second stage. So both kidneys, large intestine, triple heater, small intestine, bladder. So we've got double kidney, light touch. So we only need one because we've got one. Light touch. Ground chakra. Light touch. Okay. So now we'll go through and find the reference. So again, so it doesn't matter what pressure for the reference, only the object. So pericardium in the second stage, liver, gallbladder, spleen, kidney, stomach, large intestine. So we've got pericardium, large intestine, triple heater, small intestine, bladder. So the which ones are priority, so pericardium priority, large intestine priority, so large intestine's a priority, so I'll put that in. So it's not unlocking with the chi harmonics or chakra information. So just going to power to stress, 1 power, 2 power, 3 power, 4 power. And could I get your feet going to pop? So looking at kidney, large intestine, and we know it's physiology because that's how the whole thing started. So urea extraction. Have you ever looked into gout? Gout's usually like a build-up of urea in the tissue, and that can create a lot of inflammation and soreness through the tissue. Did you hear that? I asked him, has he ever looked into gout as an issue? Do you suffer if you eat rich foods?
Yeah. Oh, not so much stuff with rich foods, but gluten, cheese, yes. So cheese is rich, yeah.
Yeah.
Dairy.
Okay, so you might have a disposition to gout. A nitrogenous waste, so urea nitrogenous waste formed when proteins are destroyed. So it looks like your kidneys may not be eliminating urea. So that'll be involved in tubule absorption in the NPA. Remember how you got excretion absorption? So I'll just check. So kidney organ. You can look up your NPA list if you like. And then you got tubule absorptions. That means it's absorbing from the capillaries into the tubules of the nephron. And then you've got different types of transport. So it could be, so there's like little pumps in the tubules that move stuff out of the tubules into the, out of the capillaries into the tubules. The different types of, so it could be osmosis, active diffusion, facilitated diffusion, pinocytosis. What else is there? Anyone see it? Anyone looking? anti-porters. So this is all good stuff to look up. Anti-porters show, sym-porters, leakage channel, secondary active diffusion, passive diffusion. So anti-porters show. So just say my anti-porters move urea from my tubules into my capillaries within my kidneys. So that's giving us a clue. So it looks like you could have a build-up of urea in your tissue, which is creating inflammation, which is making it harder to heal, and all the fascia starts to get inflamed. And then when that gets inflamed, it creates rasping through the tendons and what have you, and the burses. Oh, one thing I forgot to do was do the fascia thing for the shoulder blade, so I might still do that because we're still I'm in the setup phase, not the correction phase. So I look for attitude, thought, feeling, sound, essence. So it just really wants that information. And then I jumped across to the NPA and pulled information over NPA. Let's see if you can, if you've done the NPA, see if you can find where I was pulling that out. Well, maybe you can. So how are you feeling?
I love it when you do that thing with my hands.
The tapping.
Oh,
The hands just. Do you want to sit up facing the group? Well, actually, maybe face this way so the group can see. So I'll do fashion. Oh, sorry. Not yet. That's what we're talking about this morning. So I did fascia mode. So I'm just going to try and pull the scapula around.
Yeah.
Because with that inflammation, possibly from the urea, all the fascias clumps up.
Yep.
And then this thing doesn't move properly because it's all the big plane of fascia that allows it to move. The scapula. So if it's all clumped up from inflammation, then what happens is the other bits have to move twice as much to compensate for that one not working. So this one's going to blow out because this one's not able to move. So often you get more problems with the bits that have to move more. They kind of wear out and exceed their ranges. So that's. So I'm going to do it on myself because by the time I walk around, oh man, it's like I'm working on this marble statue. Diagonal. Actually, lose that one. So I'm doing the 8 directions. So I captured that information in relation to the fascia. I'm going to line right up here. And I'll just get it to say, my body
my body
eliminates urea
eliminates urea
more general statement from a very specific statement. Alrighty, so more setup, correction. Okay, so that's emotion, energy, structure, physiology, something else, physiology, something else, physiology, something else. So what's cranial, physiology, cranial, hologram, so it's saying physiology, and I'll go hologram, so what's another hologram? So it's saying pericardium, interestingly. Liver, so we got so let's see which one's the priority. So it's saying small intestine. So PC again. So small intestine PC. Physiology. Does disaccharide breakdown into galactose? Disaccharide breakdown into galactose. Very specific. So I'll just go check enzyme mode. That's enzyme mode because it's enzymes that break stuff down. Is it the brush border enzymes? The brush border enzymes are the ones attached to the villi. Like there. Brush border enzymes. Is it pancreatic enzymes? That's showing as well. And then on to see if there's another one. There is. A lot of second stage stress. So you've got to be ready for how much second stage stress people can show up when you do your student clinic. So because you guys have been getting better and better, bodies are getting clearer and clearer, you're quite easy to muscle test. And probably a lot of people you practice on regularly are getting better as well. And then you come and do the student clinic and everyone will be like rigor mortis. And then you got to deal with it effectively. Okay, so then go through them again. Heart. Heart, light touch. Hold. So you want to touch that one with whoops. Hold. So central. So central. So heart central, so it's physiology. So that's the P wave. That's an output from a cardiogram. It's a cardiogram. P wave. So a wave of electromagnetic activity associated with depolarization of the atrial wall prior to an atrial contraction. All right. So that's so what I could go into now is the heart brain. So I'll just put the heart organ on because this is a neurological event, and I can put. So I've got the heart organ on. I can do neuron mode. That's showing. And I can do physiology, rage. So it's like emotion, rage trapped in this heart. And auditory bundles. And the bundles, physiology, rage. And then potentially I could go into his autonomic nervous system as well, like his vagal nerve. So if I did hold, so there's stress in his parasympathetic. And then if I did the vagal nerve, which is neuron mode GV20 liver, that's the vagal nerve. Physiology. I should do acetylcholine, but I'm just winging it. For that. His energy is starting to move now. You feel it moving? And then now we can go through the different structures through the autonomic nervous system. Can I put your feet together in half? So here I'm combining the MPA hologram, sorry, the hologram to the MPA. So going up through here, and we went through the vagal nerve because that innervates the heart and the parasympathetic. And I'm just going to scan these. So we've got the medulla. So I'm going to go get the medulla bile out. Because that's got one of those lower brain integrative areas in it. Medulla. Showed stress. I can put the format on. That showed stress as well. And then solitary nucleus, nucleus ambiguous, dorsal nucleus, rostroventral. So the dorsal nucleus. So that's just the liver. So that integrates the vagal nerve, that one. So the vagal nerve feeds in and out of that one. Physiology, 14, 13, 14, 13, 12. Rage. Keeping its good side. Oh, feel that? Then PAG, and then, which is the midbrain, and then amygdala, and then hypothalamus. And that's sort of where we started. Remember, his hypothalamus wasn't working? And so I can put his hypothalamus on. It's still got that on him. So that's diencephalon. And then top of the nose. And then I'll just check 14. And then physiology 12. That bit holds rage. I don't remember the names of them. It should be 13, sorry. So it's diencephalon, hypothalamus 14, 13, and then physiology 12. So that's from the neurophys. You could just go physiology, check the survival points as well. But it's probably well worthwhile to go all through the nuclei and the hypothalamus, because it could be where it's all coming from, because that's where it started from as well. So as soon as I touched his shoulder, I need to put the hypothalamus thing on. More information. All right, so I'm just going to and then check amygdala. So I can put the amygdala vial on just to be sure. Oh, can you see 13, 12? The 13th and then physiology 12 in that.
14,
That's the nuclei.
Yeah.
And then 12 is the fifth point.
CV24.
Okay. There's an angle one there as well somewhere.
Above
14 is it?
CV12. CV14.
Okay. Hold. Physiology. 14. Alrighty. Any more? So now I'm going to do reactivity. No more showing. So I could just see if it wants attitude, essence, thought, feeling, sound. Everybody's happy with sound. So then I need CV, heart and CV. I've got heart here. You're right. Heart CV. And times 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Where? Just around his solar plexus area. Just have a bit of a read on the back down too. Really?
Maybe.
Mum or dad might. Like, these like meridian holograms and sound because they're tuned to the meridians. And so they've got the right frequency vibration. And so as they connect with your body, they help to reset your body to the correct frequency domain within an area that it's out of balance. One more. So I'll just go back and do light touch, deep touch, light touch. With the hologram, remember after you do the hologram, so you light touch, deep touch, light touch after the correction. So there could be another line of stress, so we follow one line of stress, but potentially there could be another one. Everyone remember that? Light touch. Light touch to deep touch. And if there was another line of stress, I could just tap it in and just do it later. And it wouldn't do him any harm because you've completed a whole balance. Like we haven't half done a balance, we've just got another line of stress that we haven't delved into. So it's not like it's leaving him half baked. All right, so any more? That's good. So just say my left shoulder heals and regenerates. And then just say my left shoulder functions optimally. So, so just say left shoulder in relation, right shoulder in relation to left shoulder. And then we can look at urea extraction. Urea extraction in relation to right shoulder. P wave in relation to right shoulder. Autonomic nervous system in relation to right shoulder. Hypothalamus in relation to right shoulder. Just open your eyes, looking up to the right, more, a little bit more to the right, up to the left. On a second stage, so we'll just click the second stage. Looking up here, breathing in, breathing out, looking up here, breathing in. Just see how that goes. Cool. Sit up maybe and just have a little feel. That's good. Just maybe move the shoulder a little bit.
Yeah, it feels really nice. And nice.
Does it?
Yeah.
Just show me the ranges again.
That's heaps better, yeah. It's normally 0.
So just keep your body still and just do that. So it's not huge. It's a bit better. And then lifting it up.
It doesn't feel uncomfortable to go there anymore. Yeah.
Lifting it up. Is that any improvement?
It's higher, yeah.
Yeah.
And then just see how this one is. Is it? Yeah. So I'd be looking into maybe, urea extraction and gout.
Okay, cool.
And then look at, because I think it's genetic as well.
Yeah.
And I think, it may be genetic. And just find out a little bit more about it. Cool. Just stuff you can do naturally to combat it.
So much. Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
The look on his face was priceless. Get that? On camera.
Okay, guys, you should dance this measure again and then see if you've got a bit higher.
Yeah, well, we definitely could do more.
Yeah, I can do more, that we say.
We could, that's quite a lot for now. But like, it'll probably take 4 days for that to integrate.
Yeah.
And then it'd be good to do some more on that. Obviously, because it's welcome. Thanks for the demo. I might just